So please make sure to get my book. The link to that, to my Amazon book, is in the description box below. I am self-published now. Really appreciate the fact that I am self-published. I am going to make a video talking about that, of course. Also, too, if this reading resonated with you, please make sure to check out my website. The link to that, is also in the description box below. Kareemspiritworks.wixsite.com. But other than that, let's get into it. Let's go. So for the Aries, we have the Wheel of Fortune, okay, the Sun, the Ten of Cups, the Temperance, the Ace of Wands, the Two of Wands, the Nine of Swords, the Page of Swords, the Four of Wands, and then we have the Two of Pentacles. So I'm just seeing how, for you Aries, the Wheel of Fortune, the Sun, and the Ten of Cups marks how do I say this? It marks the end of a relationship. That's what it marks. Why? Is because the Wheel of Fortune, the Sun, and the Ten of Cups, it speaks to how you Aries once had an idea that getting with them would be good. It would be a good idea long term. But the Wheel of Fortune and the Sun in this tarot deck specifically that I am using speaks to how it's not a very good idea, because the sun is about how you Aries started out this, right, thinking that the relationship, right, based upon the Sun was going to be fun. It was going to be something that challenged you. The problem is you Aries got with somebody that didn't challenge you in that way. It was more about drama than anything else, and vice versa with you, because you should have walked away. So the Wheel of Fortune, right, is about, because I know that a lot of people, I get a lot of people sometimes, but I get some people in the comment section who don't like it when I hold the zodiac signs that I'm reading for accountable. Come on, grow up. Me being as a Virgo, I can admit my faults, and I'm doing it far more on camera to about 1,800 to 1,900 people. Potentially, right? You know what I mean? Come on, grow up. And then if those types of people want to be in a relationship, why would anybody want to be in a relationship with a person who can't say, yeah, I did this and I really need to work on that and I shouldn't have did this, right? But getting back to the reading, the Wheel of Fortune is about how things didn't work out that way. This is more so about being with them, about how it ended up turning out to just be a lot of dysfunction, right? Like just a lot of drama. It was exciting only in the aspect of drama. Because the truth is, you Aries figured it out that this person didn't really have anything to really offer substantially. And I'm not talking about monetary. I'm talking about real love, you know what I mean? Appreciation. So as a result of this, this person would just use drama as a means of grabbing your attention. So the Ten of Cups so the relationship ended up becoming really stale very quickly. So after that, the Temperance and the Ace of Wands is about how since the relationship became really stale, the Temperance and the Ace of Wands is about how this was a situation for you where you would have certain times in a relationship where the Temperance would show up. You would think that it would be good. The relationship would be very calm, but the two of you actually wasn't really getting to the bottom of your problems. And Aries is a problem solver, right? That's why Aries has such rambunctious, combative energy to it, or nature to it. It's because Aries is all about conflict and getting to the point. See, there's a methodology to Aries, right? Same thing with Scorpio. There's a methodology to Aries. The methodology is getting to that confrontation so that you can actually solve the problem of that was brewing up underneath the surface. Like, for instance, when the whole concept of cheating comes up, right? When I'm getting to know somebody, I love having that kind of conversation, because even if it's confrontational, because I understand that the confrontation is supposed to get to somewhere. It's supposed to have a point. So whenever the point, or the perspective, not the perspective, but the question of cheating, right, comes up organically while I'm speaking to these women in the short relationships that I have with them, I love having that confrontation, because it's something where I don't perceive it like how other people perceive it. I perceive it as, let's get to it, so that way I can answer your questions, you can answer mine, and we're going to put this to bed. If you want to know more details, you can always go ahead and ask me more details to kind of know more about my story, so you can get a better understanding of me, so that the two of us can grow together, right? But we're actually problem solving. We're getting over this little hump. I don't want to keep coming back to this hump over and over and over again, because if we do, I'm going to get bored and leave, because you're making it about that more than anything, which is it's not a strategy of problem solving and getting to a point and actually dating and both of you growing. It's a manipulation tactic if they keep bringing it up over and over and over after you've answered it, and you have to keep answering it a million times. So I love it when that happens. I'm like, great, let's get to it. After that point, if they want to keep bringing it up, I'm like, yeah, I'm just going to leave you alone and just talk to somebody else. Why? Because I already know where you're going with this. It's not about problem solving. So that's the same situation that you Aries have got. The Ace of Cups now is about that same thing. You're just in a volatile relationship, a flammable relationship, because it's just the two of you act like y'all are cool with each other, but the two of you don't really have any kind of camaraderie. And this is why I say friendship is important, because friendship, which is what Libra is, friendship represents peace. That's why Libra is represented by the Justice as well as the Empress. Peace, creativity, and peace. A relationship needs, if a romantic relationship is going to go far, and if it's going to be prosperous, and if it's going to be benevolent, a romantic relationship, which is what we're talking about here, it has to have an element of friendship with each other. The two of you have to get along with each other to even have a relationship, because why would two people who really don't even like each other in a greater perspective, who don't even like each other's character, be with each other? So you have the Two of Wands, the Nine of Swords, and the Page of Swords represents this being a situation where, since this is the case, this is about how a lot of you Aries, it just talks about how the two of you are or were more explicitly in the relationship. Two of Wands, right? The two of you would kind of like leave each other alone, right? While at the same time saying what's up and having minuscule conversations. And then when the conversations would show up, it's like all of this stuff is coming up now out of nowhere. And then immediately when things would pop up, while the two of you are supposed to be having a conversation, or are having or hearing some form of conversation back and forth, the Page of Swords is about how the two of you, about how the two of you would just like create boundaries and draw lines with each other, as opposed to sitting down and really getting to the bottom of those issues. Lot of dysfunctions. So the four of wands it represents the stress. It represents the type of stress that was going on in the relationship, right? The two of pentacles is about how, so it basically just broke down at one point about financially or materialistically, I should say, what the other person can give you. But it also became how the two of you became stuck in your ways, and the two of you didn't want to be with each other anymore. So, let's clarify this, because I'm not necessarily clear if the two of you are still together or if the two of you went your separate ways. Let's clarify the Wheel of Fortune. So you have the King of Pentacles, the Knight of Pentacles, the Tower, okay? So the King of Pentacles, the foundation of the relationship was based upon BS. It wasn't very strong. It was quite faulty, right? One of, the two of you wanted to see more from the other person, but there was no effort. There was no effort that was being used that was purposeful. It was effort, but it was more wasteful effort, where some of the things that you and they were doing were a whole lot about things that didn't actually go, that wasn't actually conducive to the growth of the relationship in a constructive way. The Knight of Pentacles and the Tower. So it contributed, okay, now we have that answer. So it contributed to a lot of disagreements. Let's clarify the Two of Pentacles. Let's clarify that. Let's clarify the Two of Pentacles. Let's go. Let's clarify the Two of Pentacles. Okay. So you have the Knight of Wands, the Knight of Swords, and the Lovers. So the Knight of Wands, to clarify the Two of Pentacles, is, the relationship. What I'm seeing here is that the relationship, some of you, it still may be ongoing, but in all intensive purposes, it's not. It's on its last leg, and for some of you, you left this person alone, and the two of you are no longer together. The Knight of Wands just represents this, a real disagreements, fights, destructive intentions. The two of you coming at each other, it's destructive, right, in its inception or its conception. The Knight of Swords, volatility, either being really constructive or really destructive, right? The Lovers, extreme relationship, extremes, interacting with each other in extremes. It's never, the two of you are really actually getting some sort of growth, problem solving, resolution. So yeah, you know what I mean? It's a very unfortunate thing to see relationships end up like this, but they do happen, This is why, like I said, people don't understand how important Virgo is. They, the Virgo energy and the Gemini energy, they're just going to go ahead and ignore it. Okay. But when your relationships don't work, because Mercury rules Virgo, Mercury rules Gemini. And I'm not trying to put myself into everything. I'm trying to make a consistent point. The point that I am making, let me make it plain, is that Mercury represents clear, concise communication. Forget about body language and all that crap. Clear, concise communication. Having the ability to actually verbalize in a clear or contextualize in a clear, concise way what exactly is going on internally, because you have way too many times where there is a lot of misunderstandings, misconstruings, and a lot of disagreements and a lot of fights due to people taking it personally, because a lot of people don't have a mouthpiece to talk or contextualize what's going on internally, externally, clear enough. So, yeah, peace.